What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great Thursday. This is Casey Butler coming at you from 2261 Florence Boulevard here at Garner Pierce Autos. And today we're going to talk about just one of the many ways you can walk into a dealership and feel like you actually have a good foundation. You know what we're talking about. There's a lot of times when you leave after purchasing your new vehicle, you're excited, and then you get home and the news starts to wear off a little bit. You start reading your paperwork and going through and realizing that the interest rate you have is not what you thought you had. You did the math in your head, maybe on your phone, on the auto loan calculator, which there are some of those that are good, by the way, and we can go over that later, maybe in another video. But what we're looking at here is point blank, a lot of folks walk in and they don't know what their interest rate is or should be. So my recommendation, get in touch with your local credit union. If you're here in Florence and you don't have one, I really recommend Lister Hill. You can go see Wes Beavis out in Killen, or Clint Grinnell out here in Huff Road over beside the Walmart in Florence. What those guys do is they're going to give you a pre-approval and give you an interest rate flat out, and it's math, not magic. You can see exactly what you've got. So what that does for you coming to a dealership, it pretty much says, hey, I can buy a car up to X amount, and this is my interest rate. I know what my payment's going to be if I go here, X, Y, Z. So what that does is some of the dealerships in the area, or just in the country, not really necessarily in this area, excuse me, are, they're driven by the fact of, some folks, that's how they make their profit, right? But, and to be completely transparent about that, we say a lot of dealers in the area, really in this area, I've been doing this quite a while, around 13 years. So when I look at the dealers in the area and some of the folks that are in charge, such as the Toyota store, we're going to look at Long Lewis. Okay. We'll look at, I'm not really familiar with any owners or anything over at Ray Miller, but I do know that they have excellent sales staff there. I know some of the guys there. Bentley. I mean, you go all around, and when you look at dealerships, it's a lot like, back up, I don't mean this in the way it sounds, but it's a lot like churches. Okay. So a name on the front of the building is just one thing. It's not necessarily that dealership group all the time. Sometimes it's the people on the inside. It's not a policy. It's the people. So I caution anybody in anything you do when you're looking at shopping for a vehicle, shop a person, shop that individual, and how do they do business with their customers? Go look at Google reviews. That's why Google reviews to me are very, very, very important. Look at Facebook posts that they've made with their previous customers. You can find things, but if you look for good, you're going to find good. If you look for bad, you'll find bad. But I'd say overall in this area, you've got really, really good options to choose from, but make sure that you're doing your research because, unfortunately, there are some folks in the area that get taken advantage of, and, we hate to see that happen, but you can always fix that by buying from Butler. But either way, going back to this, so when you walk into a dealership, what's really good, if you've never purchased before, or if you just kind of skeptical, go into a local bank and get a pre-approval. Lister Hill, they're excellent with this. I partnered with Wes and Clint Grinnell for about 2 years now. Wes Beavis being the branch manager out in Killen, and Clint being the one out here on Huff Road in Florence. What they're going to do is they're going to look at your credit profile. They're going to go over it. You'll know your score, and then they're going to give you a set dollar amount with an interest rate that you'll be approved for. If you already have a car picked out, that's even easier. You can give them the VIN number. They can look up the value, and you'll walk into the dealership and have everything you need. You just need to test drive the car. So that's one way to make sure that you're kind of ahead of the game. So you don't need to pull your credit at the dealership. Again, you already know where you're at. You're pre-approved through your credit union. And, the only thing that you really need to do is make sure and give that dealership the opportunity to do their back-end financing process. Because what's going to happen is if you walk in there with a blank check, you're kind of cutting yourself out of a lot of potential things that you may qualify for, such as extended warranties, maintenance packages, things of that nature. And the credit unions, I love them, but a lot of their warranties do not cover as well or up to the certain standards as the dealership warranties do. There's a reason you don't get your oil changed where you buy your pizza. It's kind of the same thing. The finance institutions, they do a great job at being straight up with their members and their customers. Dealerships, let's talk to them about warranty and do your own research on that as well. But walking in with a pre-approval puts you ahead of the game. Now, the biggest thing is now you're in the driver's seat, right? And you can kind of tell by the dealership you're at if that's a comfortable feeling or not. If you walk into any dealership and they say, well, sorry, this is only if you finance with us, get out. In my opinion, get out. There's some prices that, yes, through the manufacturer, there is special incentives put out there, but not all of them. And like I said, the majority of the dealerships around here, I know some of the guys at Sinking River. I know some of the guys at, pretty much all of them. And I can give a recommendation just about every dealership out here and what salesperson to work with or manager. But if you're ever in a dealership situation and they say, like I just said, that's our finance price only, or, oh, that's only if you XYZ, yeah. Either get the fine print or go back to your credit union or go to another store or call me. No, I can take care of you. Under no circumstance are you the buyer not in the driver's seat in any situation. You always have the opportunity to say no. You always have the opportunity to do your research. And ask your dealer, ask your salesperson, can I go research this? Can I carry this home overnight? Can I go compare this? Because the answer for me is yes, and a lot of folks in the area is yes, because the one thing I don't want you to do is make a bad decision. I would rather tell you the truth and not sell you a car than lie to you and you make a bad decision. So it takes, 15, 20 minutes to do a test drive here at a dealership? To me, and a lot of times that's completely unacceptable, not enough time. I'm going to let you carry that car home as long as you're here local. We're going to make sure you enjoy it. We're going to make sure that it goes down the roads you need to go on, fits in your garage, all the things. And there's a few other dealerships in the area that do that as well. I'm not special in that. But here at Garner Pierce, I will make sure we try to go the extra mile and do whatever you need to do. We're a smaller store with the big store's capabilities. So give me a call, 256-284-0534. I'd love to help you out, even walk you through a process, even if you don't buy from me. Because what I ask is that you take this video, you send it to somebody who's about to buy a car, and let them reach out to me. I'm more than willing to walk them through the process. So, like I said, walk into your dealership with a pre-approval, or any vehicle, any car lot with a pre-approval from any credit union, preferably Lister Hill. I know them guys are really easy to work with. I'm going to try to get their numbers linked in down in below, and their information, so you can contact them. But always do your research. You, the buyer, are always in the driver's seat, and you can always say no. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I look forward to doing this more often. Y'all have a great day.